This podcast is supported by patrons. You can find a full list of them in the description of this episode.
Good morning, my listeners. Good morning, listeners of Good Morning BSS World podcast. Welcome again to my show, and this time we are coming back to Ukraine. This time we will connect to Kyiv, where my guest is Grigoriy Legenchenko from Prozorro.Sale, and we will get familiar with more details about his company. But before that happens, we will also talk about what is happening in Ukrainian IT, actually what was happening in February of 2023. Hello, Grigoriy, how are you?
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm fine. I'm in Kyiv, and I don't know how our listeners imagine Kyiv now, but right now it looks very good. It is spring here, and I'm happy to have this opportunity to get into the podcast.
So winter is nearly behind us. The spring is coming. Of course, probably it will take a few more weeks to have it nice and just beautiful all around us. But as I mentioned, let's go now. Let's make a step back to February 2023. What was happening in the Ukrainian IT industry within that month?
Okay, this is how I see it. Again, it is from the perspective of CTO of the product company, which more like customer for outsourcing industry in IT, and looks like the market is alive, both market of companies and labor market as well. So we have hirings, we have candidates who come, we look for interested candidates, we have propositions from outsourcing companies who are ready to work for us. I believe that it is much better than we thought a year ago how it will be in February 2023.
And when it comes to those hirings, this is something what I am always wondering. Are those hirings more virtual employees or they work from the offices? How does it look like in Ukraine?
It depends on positions and how rare are they. So if you look for some generic position like, I don't know, manual middle QA, then probably you can request that please be on site in our city, etc. If you're looking for someone quite specific or quite senior, then you go to another cities, you go to another countries and hire virtually. We have several employees who work from another cities. One guy who is now in Spain, so it is fine. We are quite familiar with remote work since pandemic, I guess, as every company for now. So I believe it looks like at any other country all across the world for now.
Yeah, but I'm always curious how it looks like on the ground, where people are based, who I am talking to. But yes, you are right. Absolutely, the hybrid work, this remote work, this is probably always now going to be with us. I do not expect to have it gone in a short time. But anyway, you are a CTO, the Chief Technical Officer of Prozorro.Sale company. Let's go a little bit deeper into your business. So tell me how it started and who Prozorro is.
Okay. Our project started in 2016. I joined company in 2018. So at that time, the project already had MVP, had several successfully started streams. And a few words what we do. We are the state-owned enterprise which provides a service of electronic auctions to government, to municipals, to several commercial organizers, and our goal is to make selling of public assets as much effective and transparent as possible. We have we implemented a model which in 2015 was implemented for public procurement. There is another company which is called Prozorro, and everybody think that even in Ukraine that it is the same company, but we are different. This model works in the next way. The Prozorro or Prozorro.Sale owns the central unit which provides a public API available for reading for everyone, so you can open all our data right now without any access restrictions, etc. And also this API provides is available for kind of brokers or marketplaces who are connected to us, and they all have the same information as we have, and our brokers are managing organizers. So, for example, I am some entity in Kropivnitsky region, state entity. I have some building which I don't need, and I need to sell it. So I come to one of the marketplaces and say, hey guys, I need to make an auction from this. The broker helps organizer to announce an auction. And this auction is distributed in like 5 minutes across all 40 connected 40 plus connected brokers. So the potential bidder can choose any of the broker to make their bid to take a part in an auction. And we centralize all this information. So we provide synchronization, we provide open data, we structure it, and we guarantee that all the rules which are written in laws and other legislation, they are all applied, and the data is safe, and auctions are trusted, and the result will be guaranteed and secured from everything, from technical to legal issues to economical issues, etc. So our business is to build a solution, technical solution, and an ecosystem of brokers who work with our organizers and bidders. Just quite briefly, if our listeners are interested, I can talk a bit more about different types of auctions, different types of assets we sell, because over 20 different directions what we sell, from like you may lease some 3 square meters somewhere to put your coffee machine, up to some licenses for mining. Like we had a few months ago, we made an auction for over $25 million for the license to get oil or gas, I don't remember. So it's a very big difference between the smallest and the biggest auctions.
You mentioned that this is for the public institutions.
First of all, yes.
First of all, so it means that the private business can also use it.
Yes, we have several commercial organizers. We developed this direction, and we see a potential there, but if we look into statistics, for now it's like 1% probably from all the sales.
Okay, I understand it. And this is purely focused on the Ukraine as a country who is using it when it comes to those public institutions, or is your solution also prepared, for example, to work internationally or being delivered to a certain country?
There is one implementation for now, it's Ukraine, and our plan for this and next year to have second implementation. So if we speak about the complex product, it is not only a technical solution and even not only the ecosystem. It is also legal preparation. So we work with different government entities to prepare proper laws or other documents which regulate that. So if we come to another country, like to make the public electronic auction system, we should not only implement the software itself. We should work with some entities who will prepare documents, and these documents will guarantee the security of the auctions. If we speak about technical solution itself, it is actually open source. So if you're a state entity from random country, you can just come to GitLab Prozorro.Sale, take the solution and use this for free. We will be happy. But the product will work if you build all three parts: technical, ecosystem, and legal.
Yeah, I can imagine that when the public sector is in place, it is very deeply regulated, like we have it in Poland as well. Lots of rules and so on and so on. And if you are selling some public goods, then you have to be in line with a number of processes, procedures, and so on and so on. Wow. Okay. How big is your company?
We are like 50 or 60 people on board, and we have like 20 to probably 30 people in outsource out staff permanently working for us. So all my developers, for example, they are they work as a dedicated team at all, on outsource.
Okay. So it's close to 100.
We will come to 100, I believe, this year or early next year.
Okay, so and you are based in Kyiv. The whole team is also based in Kyiv?
Around 80%. So, you know, last autumn and winter, we big part of team was moving across the country, like looking for electricity and internet connection. So for now, March 2023, majority of the team is in Kyiv. Everybody's back because electricity is fine again, so we can come to office. Unexpectedly to me, more than a half of the team comes to office every day, because we have remote first, but in fact people want to communicate, so they come to office just to see each other.
Let's focus a little bit on your team. So you mentioned there is 50, 60 of the permanent staff, and there is a group which are like your virtual teams or the partners, the outsourcing partners. And what is the profile of your team? Because I can understand that there is a part who are the developers who are just creating the proper software, adjusting it, and so on and so on. But what kind of other profiles of employees do you have?
The main three profiles, it is project management, it is analysis, and it is quality assurance. So we control what we request from our outsource partners, and we control what we receive, like beginning and end. In the middle, we provide big liberty to our partners to make the solution good enough to be happy to do it. I like when developers make decisions, because if you make decision, you feel that it is your solution. But I cannot give option not to meet the requirements, because these requirements goes not from our side, just our side, but we take it from laws. So we need to be fully in line with laws. So yeah, again, it is analysis, project management, and quality assurance. DevOps competencies half outsourced, half on board.
And how is sales? Is it like you are actively selling your services to the public sector, or is it like that the public sector says, "Oh, we know them very well, so we will just go to them and use their service"?
It depends on what we are speaking about, which assets we sell. So for something, there is a strict regulation that if you want to sell something, for example, licenses for mining or small-scale privatization, you just have to come to us because it was agreed in the parliament, in the cabinet of ministers, that this company is trusted. So they do their job fine for more than 5 years. Let's just give this part of work to them. At the same time, there is a big part where organizers just come to us because they know that it is a trustful and transparent way to sell something, and you won't be questioned why you sold something to this guy for this price, not to anyone others. There is an open auction. There is a lot of trust to the system. For example, you in like 30 seconds after the auction is finished, you see the names and all the profiles of the bidders, so you always know how bidding was going and who were the participants. So it is huge, actually, for Ukraine, where trust to government institutions is, let's say, average. This thing helps to make this trust bigger.
Okay. And how does the competition look like? Are you the only one single player on the market who is so much trusted and who is being used to this kind of auctions? Or there are some other entities who are running similar services?
This service, as it exists, it is the single one, and the single one in the world, I guess, for now. We have another company which is into electronic auctions for public assets. They work only with arrested assets and some other specific things. They started earlier, but they were focused only on arrested assets, as I know, at the beginning, and they are still in that market. So we do not have competition for the markets where we are already present. But if we speak about any new market, then there is a question, there is competition, at least between two of us. For example, now we are preparing to sell Russian assets which are arrested in Ukraine, and we are being prepared, and our competitors, I believe they also work in this field, so we'll see how it will work. For now, the law is not approved yet, so we are waiting what will come.
Okay, so it's quite comfortable situation.
It's quite comfortable if we don't look at political side, because we are not so suitable for some parties who may have, a kind of profit on these public assets. And our competition not with other companies. Our competition is with corruption. So either we and we sell, we show all the data, or it is sold for some people in the closed room where like two guys are just shaking hands and make some deal. That's our competition, in fact.
Okay, fighting with the corruption, this is quite a nice mission.
Yes, it was the beginning, so it became about efficiency later on. The beginning, it was exactly about fighting with corruption. Same with our colleagues from Prozorro procurement. Efficiency is the second level. First level, you open data, you build trust, you fight corruption, you are in the law, which obligates some parties to make sales or procurement via you. And the next level, you make it better. So like
Okay.
this.
So we know where you are, we know where you're coming from and who you work for. What are your future plans? Are there any?
Yep. That is what we already spoke about. It is international markets. We started to work with Moldova, like to prepare some implementation in 2021, but everyone knows what happened in 2022, so we had to freeze this. Now we are back into this, so we want to have at least a signed contract this year, probably not implementation, but some signed contract. This is one direction. Another direction which never stops, it's opening new markets, as I mentioned. For now, the first one is to sell Russian assets, and we have several more. And we have a huge project will be probably implemented in next year or even next 2 years, but unfortunately I'm not allowed to speak about them.
Let's leave it for the next talk. So absolutely,
Okay.
we need to be patient. Sometimes business likes silence. So this is great. The last but not least question, what does Prozorro mean? Is there any meaning of that?
Yep, sure. It is transparency, actually. With when you say Prozorro with one R, it is Ukrainian transparent. So everyone see everything. That was the first motto, even not ours, but procurement. And we follow this principle. So you can see everything you want, and you can make your own decisions if everything was done transparently or not, etc.
So transparency. I was thinking when I read the name of the business first, like Prozorro.Sale, I have connected with the Zorro, the guy who was fighting with the corruption, by the way. Yeah, so it's like for Zorro. Anyway, Grigoriy, did we miss anything in our talking about your business?
I believe we mentioned the main points, I guess. I would be happy to answer any other questions, but this is the good beginning. If anyone of our listeners is interested in our product, what we do, what is our case, what's our experience, I would be happy, and our team will be happy to share experience with.
I am very happy that actually this kind of solutions are on the market, that the public sector, who is very much sensitive and has to be transparent, or at least should be transparent, should use these kind of solutions when buying or selling their assets. And you mentioned that there are like single small spaces for the coffee machine ending on the big mines. This is a huge potential of using this kind of solutions. So I hope that in other countries you will have an opportunity to grow this idea with this kind of a solutions, because probably this should be a must, not a need, to be used on at least some of the countries which are on their, let's say, development path nowadays. Anyway, Grigoriy, thank you very much for our talk. I will make sure that the links to your company webpage and to your LinkedIn profile will be added to the description of this episode, so those people who would be interested in getting more details after listening to this, what we were just talking about, to make it just easier for them. Thank you for today.
Thank you.